Welcome to the Small Business Social Media Marketing Strategies in the Retail Industry session. I'll now turn things over to our presenter.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Mary Mew. I'm honored to be here today. I thank Walden University for giving me this opportunity. This is my first working or presenting in a symposium. I think it's a great opportunity for all students and graduates. So again, it's a great opportunity. But I thank you for joining me this afternoon. But I will be talking about small business social media marketing strategies in the retail industry. Next slide, please. Well, let me go back and talk a little bit about myself. I give my introduction. I am Mary Mew again, and I'm a native of South Carolina. Go Gamecocks. I am retired military with 34 years of service. I've had the opportunity to work at many levels of the Army, from a company level up to the Army staff. I worked with lots of soldiers, officers, and I retired as an officer. But my most memorable assignment, I would say, was at the Pentagon. I served as a dwarf, one of the 7 dwarfs. I was the HR personnel dwarf. So I worked with many policies that supported our soldiers, was actually supported everyone in the military, but mainly our soldiers. I mean, policies that dealt with don't ask, don't tell. That was a big thing that it's ongoing with the military, and also working with women in the military. As we know that women continue to join the military at a high rate, and also as women in working in MOS in combat. And those are some of the things that I work with. But now I currently work as a part-time, giving back to my community as a teacher with special needs kids, 3 and 4 year olds. So that's a great opportunity for me. I also work in my community with small business, working with children, trying to get them involved, and also me learning more about being a small business owner. So again, I will be talking about small business in the retail industry, and that was my doctoral study, and I was wanted to do that because I was thinking about retiring from the military, which I did, and I wanted to do something different. And of course, with my retirement, I was able to go back to school and get my doctorate. So I said, well, what do I do and what do I major in? And so my interest has always been business. So that was where I wanted to focus my doctoral study on. And we all know that small business play a major role in the U.S. economy. And small businesses, the more like 500 or less employees. And today is estimated about 33.2 billion small business in the U.S. As stated, as seen on the slide, is my problem statement is social media is effective to generate growth in sales, but small businesses are not embracing the opportunity to apply social media marketing strategies. And based on that study, I wanted to find the solution to why small business were not actually engaging in social media. And it went on to say that moreover, 77% of small business owners use social media to generate growth in sales. And I also had my general business problem, which was that small businesses are not effectively leveraging social media in their business marketing strategies. And the specific problem was addressed in a study that some small business owner in the women's retail industry lacks social media marketing strategy to generate growth in sales. And we all know that small businesses is one of those things that are very hard, and it's a lucrative career, but a lot of women are not into business. And that is my focus, is to become a business owner, and would like to see more women in opening business, whether it was small business or some major corporation, but being a part of the business, being a part of the economy and growing the economy. The purpose for this study was, it was a quantitative multiple case study, which I explored 3 small businesses in the retail industry. The target population, again, was three small businesses, women, retail, and South Carolina, who had successfully used social media marketing strategy to generate growth in sales for 5 years. And the three businesses that I worked with were, they had been in the business for a very, very long time. So they pretty much used word of mouth. But now that with the social media platform, they were very involved with Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and even Facebook. So they were using social media marketing strategy. But of course, we know with those businesses being one was 70 had been in business for like 76-year old, so it was I think the fourth generation, and the other one was like 12 years, and the other one was just over 20 some years. So they had been there. It was more than 5 years. So they were a successful business owner. So I kind of chose those women, and the result was good, and I enjoyed working with them. So the significance of this other study was to contribute a positive social change by increasing economic revenue for communities and opportunity for businesses to remain competitive and allow opportunities for college students. The theory framework was the fusion of innovation, the DOI, and that was the conceptual framework. And Roger developed this theory back in 1995. The theory was developed to describe the process by which business leaders adopt new ideas, products, or philosophy. And we all know that with social media, it's adopting a new idea, and it's a product. And a lot of the business or big businesses have the opportunity to use different social media platform, where small businesses usually do not have budget for advertising or anything like that. So social media for them is a great opportunity because it's free, and they can pretty much get online and advertise their products or whatnot. Next slide, please. I looked at, these were relevant scholarship, and I was looking at scholarship that were more geared towards women that wants to go into business. So these were some of those scholarship that give back and wanted to support women entrepreneur, women getting a degree in business. Next slide, please. The research question was, what social media strategies do some small business owner in the women's retail apparel industry use to generate growth in sale? That was a research question. I think I gave you some background on why I wanted to do this research, because I wanted to be in the business, and I wanted to know more about the industry, and how women can better get more involved with retail as far as being a business owner. Procedures were, of course, there's a procedure as far as Walden. Before I could move forward with actually doing my research, I had to get an IRB approval from Walden. Then also I had to talk with the participant, which I had 3, and to get their consent. And once they gave me their consent, I conducted face-to-face interviews with them, and also used document that they had. And it gave me an opportunity to find out more about the business and their tenure and more of the owners. So it was a lot of information that was gathered, and I researched a lot of information on all 3 of the companies. And member checking was one way of writing up my summary and then giving the summary back to them, and they were aligned with them as far as what was said, and then that it was true. If there was any changes or we didn't align, then I went back to them and asked more questions. But we found out that it was approval and was good to go as far as the member check-in. And again, I said I had 3 participants, which was one. We went by using just participant 1, 2, and 3 instead of using name of the business, because of making sure that we didn't divulge any information, personal information about the individuals. Data analysis, of course, you collecting data through the interview process, and with open-ended questions. And I think I had like 14 questions that I asked And once I completed that session, I would go back and then analyze that data. And then I label the information by which participant. And of course, I told you I gave them numbers like participant 1, 2, and 3. And then I recorded, of course, I recorded each interview and then documented the research question based on the research question. Next slide, please. Some of the findings were could provide small business owners with more data to sustain success beyond 5 years of operation. I think the more I research and find that information, small businesses, as we know, use word of mouth, and they have their either repeat customers, and now that they use the opportunity of using social media, they could get out to a more wider variety of customers. Of course, they wanted to continue to keep their older customer because that generation didn't, probably not on social media, and some are, but they were the word of mouth or just getting out on LinkedIn or getting out on Facebook to give new customer an opportunity to see what they were carrying in the individual stores. The next thing was participant response confirmed with the importance of using social media strategy. So they were confirmed that yes, social media was a big thing for them, and they enjoyed having the LinkedIn, the Twitter accounts, and Facebook, which brought in revenue for them, which brought in more people, and they could go out and advertise one particular item, like maybe a sweater that they wanted to promote for the week. They can go out on social media or Twitter and talking about that sweater or whatever it may be, the item that they wanted to sell. Or maybe it was just a new thing that came in and it was a pair of jeans. They may wanted to go out and say, well, I can give you a 20% coupon off of that jean by using their social media platform. And business owners use social media to communicate with customers. And that was one of the big thing is social media. I said earlier that it able to reach to more than just maybe 50 customers that may come in your store, but with social media, you can get anywhere from 1,000 to more, depending on how many people that actually hit your site or go onto the Facebook site or hit your Twitter account. So it was a growth for them by using those platforms. Participant agreed that repeat business creates stability and success. And yes, like I said, getting the word out to the customer for younger customer. One business owner mentioned that she would give out certain things during certain holidays like Mother's Day or even Father's Day, certain little token, and that would be a kind of appreciation and would allow the customer to be able to see or appreciate what was given to them, and that kind of like brought them back into the store. And one customer even mentioned that she had 4 generation of people that would come in and shop with them. So by using social media, platform was able to have the business owner go out and grab new customer and also maintain the stability and the success of their companies. Next slide, please. The interpretation was that some small business owners use effective use of social media strategy to generate their business sales growth, and some small business owners that use social media strategy to communicate with customers to foster long relationship to increase sales. And social media could be a useful marketing tool. And I think I spoke on all 3 of those, that with social media, that the participant agreed that it fostered long-lasting relationship as they also increase sales. And social media is a good marketing tool for mainly small businesses. It's also for good businesses, but a lot of small businesses take more advantages of using the social media platform than large businesses. Move on to limitation. Of course, the limitation were that I only had limited to 3 successful small business owners in South Carolina, as opposed to going to North Carolina or Georgia or making it a more wider market. So it was limited to only South Carolina. And it also had maybe some participant restraint, whether they were attention to detail as far as answering questions. Because use a small business, they don't have a whole lot of time. They're in and out trying to get the business. They may have customer coming in, and they really didn't have time to sit down for 45 minutes to actually do an interview. But I was grateful for the participant that I did engage. Participant may be open to share their experience, may not have been open, but the ones that I did have the opportunity to work with were willing to share experiences, but it was also limited. Recommendation was that small business owners should research and determine which social media platform are most beneficial to them as their company, because not all of them, all the social media platform may be beneficial to one particular company. So they have to determine which one is best for them that would align with their policies and goals for their company as well, their growth. Social media, social change implication. I found that it may provide business owner with strategic to success social media marketing strategies, and also higher revenue may lead to more economic growth globally, not just local, but globally. So the more that they're out promoting their business within the social media, they are maybe allowed to go globally and other customers online, and which would definitely increase their economic growth. The biggest thing I thought was supporting the local community as program for students, for college student opportunity to work in stores. I had one of the participants that they have college students that come in and work during the summer, and some even work throughout the school year. And they did promote special things like when USC had ball games and whatnot. They would promote those type of opportunity for students to promote their business, and improve business owner income, and their peace of mind was a big thing. Of course, the more incomes, and it gives a business owner peace of mind that they are selling and they are making sales, and their business is growing. So those were some of the social change implications. Next slide, please. These are only a few of my references that I used as far as this presentation. There were a lot of references, very good references that I were able to use to better with my doctoral studies. Next slide, please. Final remarks. Again, I thank Walden for giving me this opportunity, and I thank all the participants that were online, and I hope that you gained something from this presentation on small business social media marketing strategy in the retail industry. Again, in closing, we all know that small businesses are the key to the economy, and that we need to promote our small businesses and make sure that they continue to grow. And as far as small businesses using social media, it can make a difference in how they market themselves. And as the past year with the pandemic, we've known that social media has grown tremendously, and I hope that small businesses are getting into those platforms so that they'll be able to increase their sales by promoting their business through these platforms. Again, thank you for your attention, and thank you for the opportunity, Walden. Are there any questions?
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your research with us during this presentation. I know this topic is near and dear to my heart, as my husband is a small business owner and relies on social media marketing for the success of his businesses. It's very critical. Feel free to post questions or comments in the chat, and we can address them as time allows. We still have some time in this session, so plenty of time for you to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask your question out loud instead of typing it in the chat. I wanted to ask you a question while we wait for possibly some other questions or comments. Can you tell us about something that you learned through this research process that maybe surprised you, something unanticipated that you weren't expecting?
Well, the research process is it's challenging. It was a long process, and but I learned so much because I mean, learning about businesses and it's just the things that the business go through, and a lot of things are things that may not be planned or things that they are so much unaware of. And I learned that businesses has to have the tenacity, and a lot of them fail before that 5 year. And they're ones that are really getting out there and getting involved and using social media are ones that are getting a business, promoting a business, are usually the ones that stays longer. So that was something that I learned, is just that I didn't, it's that business owner has to really, really, really promote their businesses. If not, they will fail. And the thing is sticking to it. So, but I didn't realize that there were so many small businesses that was in the US as I started this process. So, and which is great. I mean, like I want to be a small business owner one day, and I'm pursuing that, but it's challenging.
Yeah, I agree. I think the comment you made about the business owner, the entrepreneur wears a lot of hats. They're the
Yes,
person who is the accountant, they're doing the marketing, they're doing inventory, if it's a product-based business. So they're the HR representative doing the hiring and the firing and monitoring of employee performance if they have employees. So it's definitely a very exciting business for those who are entrepreneurs. And I know we like to promote that as well. As you mentioned, the pandemic being a key factor. We tend to search out, I think, even more so now, those
yes,
small businesses, because a lot of them didn't survive. And
yes,
it is important to the well-being and livelihood of a family that might be their only income. And so we try to seek out small businesses and frequent them so that they can sustain.
yes,
Um,
definitely.
if you could repeat the process over again, is there anything that you would do differently? And if so, what?
I don't think I want to repeat the process over. It was a very long, long journey. Definitely, I would encourage students to do the research or go, pursue this, but definitely not wanting to do it over again. Definitely not that. It was a long process, and I think it was my life. I gave up so many opportunities with family and friends and just traveling and whatnot to focus on getting this degree and working, doing this research, because it's a it's a tedious process, and you want to make sure that you do well. So you give up a lot. So I wouldn't want to do that, but I enjoyed the journey, and I would definitely recommend others that would want to do it, because it's very rewarding in the end.
Yeah, and I would say that probably dovetails right into my next question. And again, if you have questions for Dr. Mew, please post them in the chat. Um, it 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 is a difficult process, but again, for those who might be joining this session who are pursuing their doctorate degree or considering pursuing it, we have a lot of supports systems and available here at Walden, and you have to establish support systems for yourself personally within your network of friends and family and work colleagues. So what bits of advice would you give to someone going into a doctorate degree or just approaching their dissertation process? Do you have some advice for how they can gain support, and how did you make it through?
Well, very good question. Yes, I mean, you have to have the support of your family, friends, and of course your professors and whatnot. But for me, as far as I made it through, support of family and just sticking to it. I mean, I set a goal every day that, or I wanted to do, or a goal at 1 month, or however I wanted to. There were goals I had in place that I would have to complete this at this time. and then, goals, stay on target as far as what I was trying to get done. And sometimes I didn't make those goals, but that was okay. I allow myself to say, okay, I didn't make this goal this week, but I will continue to work on that goal and didn't give up. Then if I had some concern, I would call other friends that was in a program and or talk to someone that already had obtained their doctoral degree and got advice for them. And but it wasn't an easy journey, but anyone can do it if you put your mind to it. And that's the biggest thing, is wanting to do it. And there's going to be challenge. It's going to be challenging, but you have, like you said, the opportunity to work with your professors. You have other students that are in the program. You have your Walden family that you could call upon. And so it's a lot of people that are there to assist you. So don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger in this process, because you're not. If you take it that way, then it's going to be very much challenging for you. And sometimes you may give up the opportunity of spending time with your family or friends, or going on an outing, like I mentioned earlier. But if this is something that you want, then your family will understand that. And once it's all over, then you get the opportunity to do all those things that you may have not done during this process. But I would say just stick to it, have a plan, and get help. And me personally, it was a lot of prayers. So I encourage you to be able to do that and seek out other, um, I guess, friends and family, just to support you on this journey, because you will definitely need that.
That's great advice. You know, that our entire Walden network of faculty and staff and student success advisors, library, writing center,
Everybody.
support from the Office of Doctoral Research Services, we're all here to cheer you on through this journey. And it is worth it. And you've set a goal for yourself, and we want you to achieve it, and we're here to help you get there. So don't give up, and stick with it. And I think the advice you gave too is it's okay to miss some milestones or miss some small goals, but I think that's the important piece, is to not look at it as the big goal. You're going to end up with your doctorate degree in the end, but how can you piece that into little bite-sized chunks that you can put into those short-term goals, and tackle those items one piece at a time along the way. And then it becomes a lot more manageable. And again, you know, there's just a really wide support network here to support you. And once you obtain that degree, you've got doctor behind your name. And we know that that is a unique and rare accomplishment. So we're here to celebrate with you too. So once again, Dr. Mew, we thank you so much for sharing your research and your insights, your tips and advice with everyone in attendance today and those who are watching online.